on, TTC? I'm here, sitting in my garage. It's raining. That's why I decided to make a video. Don't have a lot to do. Worked a lot outside yesterday. That's why I didn't make a video earlier about the spring game. I need to get that to you guys. Spring game was impressive, especially if you're a fan of quarterbacks and passing, because Oregon kept a lot of their star running backs out of the ball game, including Kenyon Barner and DeAnthony Thomas. We don't really have depth at running back this year, which is odd, saying Duck fans don't have depth, or Ducks don't have depth at running back, because that's usually what we do is run the ball. And with Noah Michael James, by the way, congratulations to him going to the 49ers. I think that's going to be a good thing for them. Gives them a little speed compared to Frank Gore. And Alex Smith has another weapon that can catch the ball out of the backfield. Anyway, Marcus Mariota really impressed. Won the ball game 41-14. His team did. Had an 80-yard touchdown run. Threw one pick. But then again, so did Brian Bennett. And Brian Bennett, the backup quarterback to Darren Thomas last year, came out and said, when I'm named the starter, if I'm named the starter, this is what I'll bring. And he kind of had the slip of the tongue there and kind of caught a lot of media people off guard, caught me off guard. I didn't think that was the kind of guy Brian Bennett was, to infer that he's going to get the job or imply that he's earned it already, when being under Chip Kelly's mantra is you got to earn everything you get. And there's no starter named until a week before the first game. So that's how it's going to go. So a week before September 1st, that's who we're going to find out our starting quarterback is. This was not the deciding factor, even though Marcus highly impressed everybody and fans are clamoring for him to start. I don't expect Marcus to start. I expect Brian Bennett to start. I think Chip Kelly already knows. I think he's going to go with the veteran, even though Brian Bennett's a sophomore and Marcus is a redshirt freshman. Not really a whole bunch difference there, maybe a year. It doesn't really make a difference to me. I would prefer Marcus to start. I think he has more upside than Brian Bennett. When you look at him, he's being compared a lot to Dennis Dixon. So if you guys remember him back in 2007, he almost took us to the national championship game, got hurt though. Probably would have won the Heisman. We probably would have won the national championship game. We would just look so impressive that year. That was our year, and got injuries, and that's part of the game. So you just got to take it with your lumps, and it sucks. But that's who he's being compared to, and he was basically in the Heisman Trophy hunt, and maybe he can do the same. And that's exciting for Duck fans, because we haven't had that legitimate quarterback in a while, like Jeremiah Masoli. Not really productive, but not stunning. And same thing with Darren Thomas. Productive and good enough to win a Rose Bowl, but not really lights out, especially passing and accuracy. And when Darren Thomas missed, he'd miss high, and that's the one thing you can't do as a quarterback. And Marcus didn't really do that a lot in the spring game. I watched it. Missed high a couple times, but the receivers bailed him out, caught the ball, but that's leaving your receivers high and dry, and that's dangerous, especially with the thin receiving core that we have. B.J. Kelly, Devon Blackman, Takoy Sumler, all redshirt freshmen. You can't really afford to lose anybody, because they're going to be a big part of it is already. And when you mention Rashawn Vaughn and all these other guys that are a little bit more seniored, but not seniored at all, they're still young kids. You can't really afford to lose anybody, and that's why Oregon didn't play a lot of their running backs, because if we were to lose Kenyon Barner or DeAnthony Thomas, we're depending on a true freshman, then Brian Marshall, to come in here and carry the load, and that's something we don't want to do. So it's going to be a lot of Kenyon Barner, but then again, we're also going to use him sparingly, because if he gets hurt, it's a lot of DeAnthony Thomas and Brian Marshall, like I said, a true freshman, and you can't go in there hanging your hopes on a true freshman, trying to learn the stuff in the fall and then transferring it to the game. One thing I will say is if Marcus does start, we have 3 out-of-conference games that are cupcakes: Arkansas State, Fresno State, and Tennessee Tech, all coming to Autzen. So that'll be 3 cakewalks for Oregon. We could put our third stringers out there and win those ball games, and that's one thing that'll benefit Marcus if he does start. He will get to learn a lot of the playbook and really just go out there and relax. Home crowd, not going to be too judgmental about mistakes that he makes against those FBS schools or FCS schools, depending on who we're playing at the time. And one thing interesting about Arkansas State is they have the offensive coordinator from Auburn and the Auburn running back, Michael Dyer, coming in. The offensive coordinator, now the head coach at Arkansas State. And Michael Dyer, the kid that basically cost us the national championship game, coming into Autzen. So a little bit payback for you guys. Hope you're ready for it. Oregon is just going to destroy you guys. I don't know my expectations for Oregon yet. I really have to watch them more in the fall. I think we're going to go undefeated up till November 3rd, but you got to follow Chip Kelly's mantra: win the day, and that's win every day and win the game on Saturday and then move on to the next Saturday. You can't be looking ahead. We have the opponent on September 1st we have to deal with first, and once we get to November 3rd, then we'll talk about it. And that's something you kind of have to look at. But that's the big game everybody's circling, because SC off the sanctions now can be bowl eligible, can go to postseason games, can go to the Pac-12 championship game, can go to the national championship. And everyone's saying that that's going to be the collision. And of course, it's down in LA in the Coliseum, so that doesn't bode well for us. And they came up at Autzen last year and snapped a 21-game winning streak. So that's going to be a storyline for the whole week. Oregon's revenge against SC. Will Ferrell will probably be on game day. If these two teams are undefeated, game day will certainly be there. That's going to be the game of the year in the Pac-12. And the winner of that game will most likely host the Pac-12 championship game, probably against the same two teams. Probably a rematch. And if the Ducks win up at Autzen, that's going to be even a bigger storyline. Last time SC was here, beat us, snapped the winning streak, and Maldonado missed a field goal, sent it to overtime, diminished the Ducks' national championship game hopes, which I honestly didn't think we were going to go anyway. But that just made us more pumped for the Rose Bowl, got us into that mantra, like, okay, now it's the Rose Bowl or bust, and we went and won the Rose Bowl, and that's terrific. You can't complain about that as Pac-12 fans. But everybody just saying, oh, it's automatic, we're going to go undefeated up until November 3rd, and then it's a crapshoot. I mean, Arizona, like, they're always giving us fits. Washington State has a new coach, new mantra, new exciting season. A new stadium being built for them, going to be played up at CenturyLink Field this year. These games for them. Washington, always the rival, wanting revenge from last season. We beat them like 7 years in a row, I think. So there are games on the schedule that aren't necessarily games we're supposed to lose, but that are kind of toss-ups when you factor in the rivalry. Once a rivalry happens, you can throw away the records and the players. It's all passion, and that's how it is with Tennessee and Alabama down there. You can throw the records out the window and just play football, and anytime Tennessee can go into Alabama and win, and that's the truth. They just got to play hard, and that's what Washington does every week. They play Oregon, they play hard. But yeah, November 3rd is the big day, and if Marcus were to start, that'd be a heck of a trial by fire, but he has a couple months to get into it. But I expect Brian Bennett to start. I think Chip Kelly's going to go with the safe bet. He's not going to put a redshirt freshman out there to the Wolves, especially in such a big season where Duck fans have huge expectations like always, and it kind of sucks that once you become a big elite program and win a Rose Bowl and go to 3 straight BCS championship games, or BCS games for what I'm saying, then you get expectations every single year to perform, and the minute you don't, someone's going to point fingers. And if Chip starts Marcus and we have a down season and we don't go to a BCS Bowl, it's either going to be pointed at Chip or it's going to be pointed at Marcus, and I don't want that for Marcus. I think he's going to be a good talent. You just got to give him time, and I think with that being said, Chip's going to go with Brian Bennett. That way, if it does fall to where Oregon doesn't do as well, it can go to Chip Kelly or it can go to somebody else, or the defense. I think our defense is going to be stacked next year. Really young cornerbacks, just got older, more experience. We're still sophomores back there. Ekpre Olomu, going to be, I think, really good. It's all kind of got to wait and see until fall camp and see what happens and see how things play out. Hopefully, hope for no injuries, and just excited for September 1st. Anyway, just wanted to get out of here, leave you guys with that. Leave your comments on the comment box and get at me with how you think Oregon's going to do this year and how we're going to fare, and especially against SC. That's the big one. Talk to y'all later. Peace.